Companions, may I just reiterate what I mentioned at the start of the convocation, that it really is good to be back. Although we needed to make significant changes to our original plans for today, I have to say that I'm absolutely delighted to see you here. In continuing to take sensible local precautions, despite the lifting yesterday of many COVID restrictions, we were sadly unable to accommodate all of our members and regular guests who had originally intended to join us. However, today marks a significant step forwards towards a full resumption of Freemasonry in general, and I'll return to this later. Certainly, for our part, today represents a considerable improvement on the 6 of us who were present at Provincial Grand Chapter last September. I congratulate all of you who have received appointments today in Provincial Grand Chapter. I will be holding a virtual meeting later to likewise congratulate members unable to be present who received past rank appointments or promotions. Although we were unable to share this special day together, it remains a day of great celebration. You are all to be applauded for your involvement in and contribution to our wonderful order, and I do hope that this will continue into the future. I thank my executive for their continued support and confidence. I ask much of them, but they continue to deliver and impress me greatly with their dedication and commitment. To my deputy, excellent companion Eddie Ford, who always seeks improvement in all that we do for the benefit of our order and its members. Eddie is also a great sounding board for me when I endeavour to do likewise. I am most grateful to him for his enduring support. To our now past 2nd Provincial Grand Principal, excellent companion Andy Brittle. I have already mentioned his significant contribution to the Royal Arch in general and to this province in particular over many years. I am delighted that he is continuing to assist the team, supporting our official visits during the ensuing year as a presiding officer, and also his involvement and commitment to our innovative chapter support group, of which he will remain an active participant. I also welcome my new 2nd and 3rd Provincial Grand Principals, excellent companions Ralph Howarth and Paul Lockley. Ralph has, of course, moved up from 3rd Provincial Grand Principal, in which capacity he has quickly become a most valued member of the team and greatly contributed to our initiatives as well as some challenging provincial matters, despite lockdown, in a benevolent and empathic manner. Paul has his first opportunity as a chained officer of the province. I know that he will put his previous experience to very good use and bring a fresh new perspective to the executive as he settles into his new senior appointment. I extend my thanks to our Provincial Grand Scribee and Provincial Grand Director of Ceremonies, excellent companions Matt Gibbons and Chris Adams, for their considerable daily support and in particular for the detailed planning and replanning to ensure the success of today, which, I assure you, has not been an easy task. Sadly, as many of you are now aware, Chris's wife Sue passed away last week, and our thoughts and prayers are with Chris at this very difficult time. I'm extremely grateful to excellent companion Paul Foster, past Provincial Deputy Grand Director of Ceremonies, for stepping in at short notice. I thank the Provincial Admin team, Marianne, Julie and Debbie, who have worked continuously on our behalf throughout the pandemic. Companions, some very important appointments came into force on the 29th of April for those Staffordshire companions who received appointments and promotions in Supreme Grand Chapter. I again congratulate excellent companions Stephen Varley, Provincial Grand Master of Derbyshire and past Head of Old Denstonian Chapter, on his promotion to past Deputy Grand Swordbearer, and Andy Brittle on his promotion to past Assistant Grand Sojourner. Likewise to excellent companions Mike Santo Pietro, our Provincial Communications Officer, on to Grand Standard Bearer, and Chris Adams on his first appointment to past Grand Standard Bearer. These honours are all very well deserved. I have already made mention of our chapter support group who have met virtually throughout lockdown and have continued to investigate, develop and implement various initiatives in the province that help to support our chapters and promote our order. In fact, one of these is currently in the process of implementation, that of a chapter visiting officer scheme. You will hear more of this in the weeks ahead, but for now I must thank all of the companions who contribute to the group for their ideas, commitment and dedication. Companions, you certainly don't need me to remind you that our daily lives have been severely disrupted over the last 16 months, and that of course so has our Freemasonry. Now that restrictions have been lifted, life in general can slowly start to return to the new normal, and so it can in our chapters. While some have already planned emergency convocations to catch up, others should commence planning now for a resumption from September. However, we should accept and understand that some of our members just don't yet feel comfortable meeting up in large groups, and we are certainly not expecting a full and complete return of all members in the months to follow. It will necessarily take time to return to business as usual, and it is important that we regularly engage with and fully support those of our members who choose to wait just a little longer. For those who do feel able to return to their chapters at the outset, it rests upon you to carefully manage the transition back, and also to ensure that, where you have candidates waiting, that their exaltations are prioritised. However, it is important to adopt a sensitive approach in order to address any anxieties that may remain. No candidate or member should be feeling uncomfortable or unsafe when attending, but be fully supported by their chapters in taking whatever local steps are deemed necessary. I can assure you they're very cooperative and flexible in assisting you to achieve these aims as confidence gradually returns. Companions, I am now in my third year as your Grand Superintendent. Whilst my second year was impacted by significant disruption to our order, which brought with it many challenges, there were many positives to come from it, not least the excellent collaboration between our orders and our weekly provincial newsletter. I therefore thank the Provincial Grand Master, ex-companion John Lockley, for inviting us to join his weekly Zoom calls, and the other heads of orders for Staffordshire and Shropshire, ex-companions Mike Heenan for the Mark degree, and David Phillips for Knights Templar and Rose Choir. By meeting virtually on a weekly basis, in a positive, collaborative manner, we were able to discuss common issues, agree key communications, and jointly develop and administer the Membership Retention Support Fund. This particular initiative has proved invaluable in supporting those of our members who experienced temporary financial difficulty and were unable to maintain their subscriptions. For the newsletter, I thank ex-companion Mike Santopietro in his other capacity as an APGM in the craft, who somehow found the time each weekend to construct the weekly issue. This was a vital communications tool during our most difficult times, which not only allowed us to communicate important matters and other items of interest, but also lifted the gloom with the odd bit of humour. Companions, I remain honoured and humbled in being your Grand Superintendent, and I pledge to continue my endeavours to ensure that enjoyment remains at the very heart of all that we do. And I hope that you too, companions, will seek to achieve and maintain that very important aim. I wish you all well for the season ahead. My team and I are very much looking forward to resuming our visits to your chapters and enjoying your companionship. May the true and living God Most High keep you safe and grant us all good health and happiness in our tasks in the year to come, and until we meet again. Thank you, companions.